All right, so here are some infield rotations that I came up with for our latest camp, and I think that they did a really good job of getting a lot of reps in a short period of time. And so basically, we have 4 stations in each of them, and they each have different tasks that they're going to be trying to do as they um, as each progresses. And I'll go through each of them here with you so that you can get an idea of exactly the setup and how each of the drills work. There will be some accompanying videos that will be added a little bit later, so that some of the drills that you may not be familiar with, you can see those. So in station number 1, which is going to be between the pitcher's mound and the first base line, we've got 3 buckets set up, the number will depend on how many players you have at each. You could even have 2 buckets if you have 4 players there, but we're going to have 6 players roughly at that. Each bucket will have a pile of baseballs in front of it. The feeder will be sitting on the bucket. The person who is doing the defending will be sitting about 6 to 8 feet, or kneeling about 6 to 8 feet from them. We're going to basically just doing our Aussie drills, our very simple kneeling work here, working on our glove presentation, working on hands, working on our different hops, our short hops, our long hops, forehands, backhands, those kinds of things. So that's station number 1. So after they get about 8 to 10 reps, then they switch, and the person who was doing the fielding then becomes the fielder. And again, the nice thing about this, I think, is that as a coach, I'm not feeding any of these. The players are feeding them all, and so it gives me free reign to kind of walk around and work with different players in different groups. Number 2, the feeder is going to be kind of to the right of the pitcher's mound. We actually put ours up on the side of the mound just to minimize wear and tear on our field. They've got a pile of baseballs there. They're going to roll ground balls to a player at second base, and they're going to do a 4-3. Here they're working on both their 2-step and 4-step patterns. The third station there is going to be with the second station there, I have the bucket back behind first base. The third station, we're going to be rolling double play feeds, so they can roll either to the shortstop or to the second baseman. And again, I'm putting that up on the mound so that we minimize wear and tear on the grass behind our infield there. The bucket there is behind second base, so they're going to feed to second base, get the footwork for the pivot or the turn, and then drop the ball in the bucket. The fourth station here is a backhand station, so it'll be over towards the third base side. You see the buckets kind of in front there, so after they field the backhand, they can put the ball back in the bucket as they're heading back to the line. Feeder will be between the pitcher's mound and the third base line, and they're going to roll the ball to the backhand side. Something that we have done as well is have them start facing the right field fence, and then when the feeder says go, they turn into their fielding position, and then they can into their ready position, and then they can go get the ball on the backhand. Just adds a little bit of extra footwork, which I like. So that's our first rotation. A couple things that popped up for this one. Make sure that to kind of explain that they need to alternate who the feeder is. You'll notice that sometimes they'll let an entire person feed the entire drill, and then they don't get to actually participate in the drill. In the second station there, part of the station is playing first base. So if we have any first basemen who are left-handed, they will participate pretty much only in stations 1, 2, and 4. And then in station 3, they'll either go to 2 or 4. So at station 2, they'll be working as first baseman. In station 4, they're going to have to be on the other side of where the feeder is in order to make that a backhand for them. But I do want all players who are right-handed in station 2 fielding the ground ball and also working at first base, because stretching and catching is something that pretty much all infielders are going to have to do. I also do have our first basemen who are right-handed working in station 3. I think it's good to train everyone like a middle infielder. Those are skills and movements that they're going to need to make throughout the game at various situations, and so I think it's good to have them working in there. And these are not really position specific, so as I'm working in station 2, I'm not working specifically with second baseman. Right? This is all of our infielders, and our thing here is we're fielding, working on our 2 and 4 step patterns. And so they don't have to be second baseman. They can be third baseman. They can be right-handed first baseman. They can be middle infielders. So it's not position specific. Even in the middle, I still have my third baseman doing that. I still have a right-handed first baseman doing that rotation there.